Well, good afternoon. This is the Reverend Ian Howard here, and greetings from Carterton. I'm standing outside Carterton Community College, as you can see from the sign behind me, and this is the main 11 to 18 mixed comprehensive school in Carterton, from which we have, which takes from the 5 primary schools here, and also there's a primary school in Brize Norton, but this is the main secondary school. And my theme today is, how are we going to live and work after the lockdown? It's Tuesday, the 21st of April, and that's a question that's in all of our minds. So we have now entered into our second 3 weeks of lockdown, and we're looking at ways of increasing the testing and obviously tracking contacts and finding that vaccine, and all those things are uppermost in our mind. And we've had a living room concert by Live Aid, that amazing concert over the weekend. And people are turning to music and poetry to find inspiration and solace. And people are all asking themselves if this is a new way forward. I saw an interview with Sir David Attenborough, who's made a new film called A Life on Our Planet, which is coming out later this year. And he's wondering whether this is a God-given opportunity, whether this is an opportunity, he would say, to try and review how we're living at the moment. He wonders whether it's possible to reduce waste, to cherish our planet, and to celebrate all the good things in our planet. And it's certainly true at the moment. We've got no flights, we've got canals clearing in Venice, we've got tremendous reduction in pollution because there are no cars or very few cars driving about. So a tremendous opportunity for us all to consider how we're living and wonder whether we should change it. Now, it's interesting, this last weekend, the Orthodox Christian Church celebrated their Easter a week later than us. And they were also reminded, I believe, like us a week earlier, that the disciples, after Jesus rose from the dead, were in lockdown. They were completely shaken and staggered by all the events that had taken place. They didn't know what to do next. And yet Jesus spent 40 days with them to convince them that he really was alive, that he really had risen from the dead. And he wanted them to learn a new way of living. And as I stand in front of the school this morning, the idea that's uppermost in our mind is that we expect our children and our youngsters and those who get our students to be learning new things all the time. And maybe this is our opportunity as older people to also join them in that learning quest of how we're going to live now. How are we going to live, and how are we going to work after this lockdown? Now, there are very many sad things happening in this time of lockdown, but it's also important to be positive. I came across this lovely poem, which many people have noticed, which is called "And the People Stayed at Home," written by Kitty O'Meara, who was a former teacher and chaplain in Madison, Wisconsin in the United States, and she published this on her blog on March the 16th, 2020. And she had a vision of the good things that could come out of this terrible situation which we're all confronted with. She writes, "And the people stayed home and read books and listened and rested and exercised and made art and played games and learned new ways of being and were still and listened more deeply. Some meditated, some prayed, some danced, some met their shadows. And the people began to think differently, and the people healed, and the people began to, and in the absence of people living in ignorant, dangerous, mindless and heartless ways, the earth began to heal. And when the danger passed and the people joined together again, they grieved their losses and made new choices and dreamed new images and created new ways to live and heal the earth fully as they had been healed." So that's a lovely poem written by Kitty O'Meara this year in the United States, which encourages us all to think about new ways of living, new ways of working, new ways of resting and relaxing, living life in a new way as a result of this terrible pandemic that we're confronted with. Now, one of the things I find strange and sad and very challenging is that over the last 20 to 30 years, with the tremendous advance in technology, which I really appreciate as well, somehow God has got written out of the script. And I believe he's there wanting to have a relationship with every one of us, wanting to help us now in this time of crisis. And so many people don't realize that there are other ways that which they could look for comfort and help on a supernatural plane. Many people are looking to spirituality, but even in that, they've forgotten about God, the God of the Bible. And I'd love to sing a song here, which is called I Do Not Know What Lies Ahead, because according to the Bible, there's not only a God there, a loving, caring, compassionate God who wants to help us through this crisis and give us wisdom as to how to get out of it, how to get those gowns made, how to get those tests done, and all those things, thank you. But also, he has a plan and a purpose, because he's the only one who knows the future. I have my guitar here, and assuming that nothing will blow over in the wind, I'm going to play you this song, which was written in 1958. It's called I Do Not Know What Lies Ahead. It was written by Alfred B. Smith and Eugene Clark. And I think it just reminds us that there are other perspectives to this. So it's not to deny the level that we're all living on and all the things that we appreciate and value, but just to remind us, and I believe this is so important, that there is a spiritual dimension as well, which God wants us to remember at this time. And he wants us to come back to him and to look to him for help and guidance and comfort and direction, because he knows the future. I do not know what lies ahead, the way I cannot see. Yet one stands near to be my guide, he'll show the way to me. I know who knows the future, and he'll guide me with his hand. With God things don't just happen, everything by him is planned. And as I face tomorrow with its problems large and small, I'll trust the God of miracles, give to him my all. I do not know how many days of life are mine to spend, but one who knows and cares for me will keep me to the end. I know who knows the future, and he'll guide me with his hand. With God things don't just happen, everything by him is planned. So as I face tomorrow with its problems large and small, I'll trust the God of miracles, give to him my all. I do not know the course ahead, what joys and griefs are there, but one is near who fully knows, I'll trust his loving care. I know who holds the future, and he'll guide me with his hand. With God things don't just happen, everything by him is planned. So as I face tomorrow with its problems large and small, I'll trust the God of miracles, give to him my all. Now we have a bit of a tradition now on these postings to say the Lord's Prayer at the end, the only prayer that Jesus, when he came to earth, left for everyone. So please join in, if you'd like to, in any language that you know. I will say it in the old traditional version. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. So, till we meet again, take care, God bless, and stay safe.